Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome once again to another live stream. As you may have noticed, shining brightly in the remote studio is, of course, Karen Bashford, an empowerment mentor. Now, we often talk about stuff, and every time we do talk, I tend to learn something new, which usually leaves me open mouthed. Today is no different. Apparently, we're talking about trauma and how your body seeks attention. So, are we portraying that the body almost works outside of what our brain normally, our normal consciousness level knows what's good Lord. All right. So talk to me about this, Karen. I need a bit of education, please.
Okay. I'm very conscious of the fact that I had 2 car accidents and consequently I suffered back pain.
Right.
However, that was all sorted, basically. But then a few years ago, when life became just overwhelming, I started getting chronic back pain again. My neck, my shoulders, all down my spine and across my hips. I could barely move. Now, it wasn't because of the car accidents. Yes, I damaged my spine, but I'd spent years being fine. And then I started realizing that my body was trying to tell me that my life was not as I wanted it to be. So my mind was telling me, I knew it already in my mind, but my body was actually reacting to the constant lack of happiness in my life. So,
hang on. Are you saying that this unhappiness manifested in something completely different?
Yeah, because your body seeks your attention. And the way it seeks your attention is to cause you pain, illness, disease, a problem that doesn't ever ease off. So you can have an autoimmune disease. That's your body trying desperately hard to say to you, there is something wrong within me. Please correct it. And it doesn't have to be a physical illness that's wrong. It's just the emotional energies you're holding on to from situations you could be in or you've been in, have walked away from, but haven't resolved the emotional memories that are stored in your body. So your body goes into pain mode. It goes into seeking your attention by making you ill in some way, shape, or form.
It just devastates me a little bit that we spend all this time taking pills and goodness what else. And we're not taking any notice of our body saying things, right?
Absolutely, because basically if you take a painkiller or if you take a pill for something, you're actually suppressing your natural body's responses. So every time you take a painkiller, you're telling your brain, don't respond to this pain, let's kill it off by suppressing it. But all you're doing is forcing your body to then start making more opportunities to bring to your attention that actually I need something healing. And healing isn't a woo-woo thing at all. It's actually giving your body the opportunity to say to you, I need help. Can we look at resolving what's really going on in your life? Whether you've left that situation and haven't dealt with it emotionally, or whether you're still in it and are having to deal with all the emotions and the stress and everything else that goes with it. It's your body's way of saying to you, I'm not happy. Can we resolve this?
Where do you start even?
By acknowledging it.
Right, so you acknowledge it, but then you've got this, your body is basically crying out for some sort of support. I don't even know where to start.
Okay, so you can start by being conscious of what part of your body is hurting. Your back is your support structure. So what's missing in supporting you? Right. Or what have you never had in your life that would give you the sense of security? Because when you feel safe, you're not going to have your back problems because your body is going to go, I feel supported, I feel safe, I feel secure. So I don't need external support. I've got enough inside me to manage my life effectively. If you look at your hips, that's all to do with movement forward, because we need our hips to be able to physically move forward. If you've got hip pain, you've probably been in a situation where you have been stuck and remain stuck, unable to move forward. Your knees, believe it or not, are often where your past memories are stored from relationships, from past lives, from family history, cultural history, because without your knees flexibility, how do you really walk? And do you
With
have
great difficulty.
situations?
With great difficulty, I think is the answer to that one.
Yeah, and that's why you get knee pain. That's why you get problems in your knee, because you're holding on to things that your body knows it needs to release, but you're ignoring it. And this is the problem. We've automatically been taught over the years that we have to go to specialists for help, or we have to take a pill. Now, if you need those pills, if you need to see those specialists, I'm the last person to say don't go.
Right.
But start listening to what your body is telling you and start investigating and thinking clearly for yourself. If this part of my body is hurting, what do I use this part of my body for? Or what is my part of the body for? As I say, your back is your support structure. Without your spine, you've got no support. So if you've got back pain, that's probably telling you you've got no support in your life, or you have had a life where you've been having to support so many other people. Then all of a sudden it's like, I can't do this anymore.
I do think that's an old story, though, isn't it? A lot of people seem to have the world on their shoulders and also coincidentally have a lot of back pain.
Yeah, because you can't, your body's only designed to basically carry you, not
Right.
everyone else or everything else for that matter.
Wow. Well, it just feels a bit like we're ignoring useful pointers.
Absolutely. You know, you're not going to get pain if your body isn't seeking help. Why would it give you pain if it doesn't need help? And you often end up injuring yourself because your body is trying to say to you, please help me.
Right. It, it's very frustrating, I think, because I think that with the best will in the world, people want to plumb themselves full of vitamins and minerals and vegetables and all the rest of it, without necessarily looking at what your body is trying to tell you. And I think that seems a shame.
It's an absolute waste of your life, basically, if you're choosing to suppress what your body is trying to tell you by taking an extra vitamin or whatever.
Well, the fault is paracetamol, ibuprofen, and vitamin D, and that seems to be, people's go-to.
But it doesn't have to be. I don't take any painkillers, not one. And even the whole time I had the chronic pain, I did not take painkillers because I can't. My body will not let me. If I try and go and pick a paracetamol up, I start feeling sick. If I try and put it in my mouth, I'm physically sick. My body says, no, I do not want this. I need you to pay attention to what I'm telling you and work out what is really wrong. And as soon as you start doing that, your pain can start easing. Yes, it's not going to go totally unless you actually dive into what is the underlying cause and healing yourself from that. But even just acknowledging that actually, yes, I'm listening will ease the pain or ease the problem or change how you feel about your situation, which naturally then eases the stress on your body.
Right. Gosh. So what would be the first step you do to try and acknowledge what's going on?
Well, I'll give you a prime example. I spoke to a lady this morning,
Right.
who has been hit by flu, basically. She arrived back from a holiday and collapsed, basically. And she'd felt slightly unwell on the holiday, but it was like as soon as she arrived home, it was her safety net. Her body went, oh, I can now stop, and I'm going to make you rest. And she said that she's had the most chronic 4 days of literally just staying in bed, unable to do anything at all. Interesting enough, when we started the conversation, she told me this, I simply said to her, so what is it you're releasing? Because basically your body will only make you stop totally if it reaches that point where it just doesn't have the ability to be able to deal with anything without handling the problem she's got.
Right.
And when she started thinking about it, it's like she's got breathless. She's gone breathless. She wasn't breathless for the 4 days, but suddenly she's gone breathless. Your
Right.
breath associates with what you need to express. Because without breath, you cannot speak.
Right.
Well, you can't live anyway, but that's beside
No,
the
but
point.
no, you can't speak. I think that's pretty much on the money.
So there's something within her that her body said, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm going to make you stop, which is why she becomes so ill and spent so long in bed. But now she's back up and working again. But now she's got this breathing problem. But her way of obviously connecting with people is to speak. So there's something within her at the moment that she needs to express, even if it's not to a person. She just needs to acknowledge for herself that she needs to express something from her past or something that's happened recently, because quite often our bodies will react to a trigger to something that's happened in the past, but it's been triggered by something that's happened recently. And even just acknowledging, if you look back, there's probably an event that she's been through recently that's really irritated her and triggered the past event that she needs to just express to herself, even not even out loud to somebody else, but just to herself, and acknowledge that that was a problem for me. That will start easing her breathing problems.
So is the first step to look back over issues that could be creating trauma and then acknowledge they exist?
Yes, even just acknowledge it, that they exist, will allow your body to say, you're listening. I can now start letting this go, even if it's just a small step at a time and a small pain, or just an easing of a joint pain or a movement in a joint or something like that. It's just giving your body that acknowledgement that you're listening to it, that will start helping you heal anyway.
Right. It's just the modern human seems to be beset by so many of these traumas. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine only yesterday who said, I had the most amazing time working at this job, but I acknowledge that because I was tortured by pressure internally within the job so badly, I've ended up with PTSD from it.
But that can be dealt with.
Well,
but by something like that. Yes, he's acknowledging that that's the problem, but he's now got the stored memories of, as he said, the torture of the pressures that he went through. He needs to then work on that pressure that he's stored within his body, all the emotional attachments that he's created, to remove the PTSD. And PTSD can be removed. Any illness can be treated.
It seems such a shame, because I swear I've had all sorts of ailments which perhaps if I'd acknowledged its linkage I could have perhaps either overcome or at least lessened them.
Absolutely.
But that's
Anyone
not,
can.
but that's not what the modern British male does, is it? It's soldier on.
Well, it's not what any modern person does generally, because we are always taught that if you've got a pain, take a painkiller, or if you've got a problem, go and see a doctor, who then gives you a tablet, or then sends you to hospital and then starts exploratories, you then end up having an operation that potentially you probably didn't need if you acknowledged your actual holding of your trauma, or something that your body is going, I really do not like this. Can we deal with it, please?
Yeah.
But operations, tablets, and such like need to be considered as an option, but first look at what your body is telling you. That's got to be paramount before you do anything else. Ask your body, what is the problem? And your body is going to indicate by the where the pain is or what the illness is.
It's yeah. As I always say, every day is a learning day with it. Karen, thank you so much. Guys, please note that Karen is a lady who wants to help you, and one of the best ways of doing that is by going to her website, which is karenbashford.com, and talking about perhaps not even just what you think your main problems are, perhaps even talking through things you think that could have contributed to where you are now. I suppose it's taking notice. That's important here. Thank you so much, Karen. I ever since I've started working with Karen, I've learned quite a lot. I mean, I still feel like there's a ton more to learn, but that's good. That's good. Crikey, if we ever get to the point where we feel we don't have to learn anymore, I think we've properly gotten to the end of it. Thank you once again, Karen. And to all you out there, I would say try and take notice of what your body's trying to tell you before you start throwing pills down your neck. And I would say have a chat with Karen. She really has helped me in the short time that we've been associated, just through talking things through and seeing things from slightly different angle. Until the next time I see any of you, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars, and try and notice what the hell's going on with your body before you start throwing pills and pharmaceuticals and the rest of it. So until next time, goodbye from us both. Bye-bye.
Bye.